Looking at Ruben, I knew his eyes were on the prize. He was going to attack that hill.
It is steep, it is so steep.
A couple of times I thought this car is going to flip.
We've gone up this little bit, and how about that wheel lift? You guys are in there going, oh, Dad, that's a bit wild. Oh, I nearly had it. Oh.
We are back here at the Springs 4-Drive Park.
It's just amazing to me that such a place is just so close.
And I got to meet some new faces. We had MDC come on board.
I'm Anya from MDC. I'm driving a 300 series Land Cruiser of MDC's and towing a Robson XTT.
Yeah, the patrol that I'm driving, it's lifted, it's got all the fruit, and apparently it's the first Y62 that Ruben actually did a GVM upgrade.
I've bought our NP300 Navara, thought we'd give it a run and see what it can do against some of the other cars that are here.
We've brought up today with us our Direction Plus Nissan Navara.
I've brought something new with me today, and that is the Ruben Con. And I brought the kids and the dog.
We brought the trusty BT50 along. It was planned to bring the Jeep, but unfortunately it had some breakages at the last event.
So first thing today, we fronted up, we all pulled up at the office, we had to sign in there and sign our life away.
Every time I come to the Springs 4-Drive Park, the owner Lucas doesn't drink beer, so I bring him a carton of ginger beer, his favourite drink.
Oh, mate, welcome, welcome. You can come anytime.
Here we go.
Thanks, man.
My pleasure.
Yeah, that's definitely my poison, eh?
Lucas wanted to be our host and show us around the park, so we went up to a place called Highway Hill.
We've got a couple of new faces out here. We've got Vaughan and Anya from MDC, and we've also got Aaron from Patrol Apart out here for the first time.
This was all about a bit of zen before we head out and scratch cars, dent cars, four-wheel drive brake stuff, do all the fun stuff that you do four-wheel driving.
How's that view looking out to the right?
It is a pretty spectacular view. And once we got to the very top of it, we had a perfect, crystal clear view of the surroundings and the highway, which was dead straight.
The view from there over to Leslie Dam and out to the west is just, it's breathtaking.
I was looking down to the left-hand side and I saw an old quarry there and I'm thinking, oh, that looks pretty interesting. And Lucas was saying that they've actually got a track called Quarry Hill.
Lucas said, no, you don't want to start your day with that. You might damage your vehicles. They all wanted to have a go. I thought I'll save the BT50. I'm here for 3 days, so I don't want to break it just yet.
Lucas went up first in battle axe with his reduction gears.
So we can annoy everyone because I've just put 85 reductions in here. So first gear is like low, slow. Oh no, I got it. I was gonna say,
amazing, isn't it?
Just keeps carrying it. The quarry hills don't get much use, much exposure because people have so much fun from the camp towards the back of the property. But if you haven't seen the quarry hills and you want a bit of a challenge, get out to the quarry hills out the front and try them out.
Jeep has quite a long wheelbase, so pretty easy to get it hung up on a rock.
Lucas kicking rocks out at me? Son of a gun.
Goddamn, how dare
He thinks he owns this place.
They just climbed it, eh?
Easy peasy, lemon squeeze.
See the Jeep guys starting to get into each other.
So this is where Ruben, he really gets carried away because he's like, I can't let that other Jeep beat me, so if I'm not driving it, I'm on the gas.
Hey Ruben, Patrol Apart made it up in 1 minute 27 seconds. Do you reckon you can beat it?
I'm not sure whether I want to snap, crackle and pop it right now.
If he breaks it this weekend, I'm going to make a big sticker for his back window. Rice bubbles.
He's stuck already.
We've had to give it a Ruben rev here and there.
Yes, go here, good thing.
To lose by 1 second, breaks my heart.
Aaron has a part shop for Navara, so I don't think he cares about breaking anything, but he drove that hill like an absolute gun.
Sort of just walked up there, had to give it a little bit in a few spots, but it was a good climb, a couple of good step-ups, some big boulders to try and avoid. From there we had Tyler and Sledgehammer, and he showed us how it was done just walking up. I don't think he even locked it in, it was just open diffs and did it easy.
Looking at the track, you think there's no way those vehicles are going to get up there, but did it so easily. It was quite impressive.
After we finished the lookout and we had a little bit of fun on that Quarry Hill, we decided it was time to get into camp. But Lucas sort of said, hey look, there's a little section off to the side. That'd be worth just seeing how these off-road campers go.
So there's a fair bit of flexing, very rutted, very deep wombat holes.
Well, Vaughan did mention that these MDC campers are off-road campers. So on the way back, we did a little detour down the track, which would really test them out. And I'll tell you what, they did fantastically down there.
Vaughan, great to have you along for your first ever trip. Welcome to the Springs, mate. What do you think of it?
Mate, this place is amazing. Like, I've seen it online, but just to be here in person, it just looks so good.
We're doing some pretty cool off-wheeling now, and they're just handling it beautifully. These trailers are eating it up.
Yeah, mate, and this is what they're actually built for.
I'm seeing them, going back and forth with some flexing, I suppose you can call it. That was good fun.
Cars had no problems navigating any of the obstacles, pulling them around. It was good to see them getting out there.
Well, at the moment we're heading into main camp, so we've got a couple of creeks to cross. We'll get into the prime camping spot, we'll get set up, and then we're going to head out and get ourselves on some tracks and see what we can break. I mean, see what sort of fun we can have.
Yeah, let's leave the braking to the Jeeps, hey?
Funny you say that, we've got two on this trip.
We shall see who breaks stuff.
We headed straight into the main camp and set up everything. Everyone's got a beautiful setup between the caravans and the camp gear they got.
All the campers went up pretty quickly. It was good to watch them. One of them's got an electric roof, so that just popped straight up and he was done.
For lunch today, it was quesadillas. And you might be sitting there going, hey, that's nothing. But hey, we're camping, and I'm doing this on a burner.
Look at that. Gonna do some four driving. You need to do it with a bunch of cheese and salami in your belly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that.
That's really good. Top job.
Sat down, had a bit of a lunch, and then we decided we need to go and tackle something a little bit more, what would you say, a little bit more difficult. So we decided to go and hit the skids.
Now, where are you leading us at the moment, Lucas?
Straight into the skids, mate. This is a bit of a special sort of a track. Nice little waterfall pinch here and nice a little hill climb at the end.
Now I'm going to do a 7-point turn to get the truck around here.
Yes. Did we break anything?
Chris, don't do it. I didn't drive in that hole, eh?
I was just watching what you're doing. I was wondering where you were going.
I almost got around in one go, Ruben.
Well, you're doing better than me, mate, because I just drove off whatever that is into a cliff and got caught up into this rock, and yeah, it made some awful noises, but we're through.
And didn't break anything.
Everyone was curious as to why Lucas calls it the skids, and we found out when we got there. But we got in there all right.
Further down, we're into the rocky stuff, so that's something I haven't done before, which looked a bit scary, but with the expertise of the team here directing us how to do it, it was actually quite achievable, and I was pretty happy with how the Y62 got through it.
Listen to them front tyres. What was that? Oh. And I tell you what, it just was like a funnel. It narrowed right down. I had bushes scraping from the left and the right. I tell you what, I don't know how Simon got that big truck through in front of me.
Very tight, very rocky. but absolutely great fun.
So after we sort of done our turns, gone in, picked our lines, so we came to this rock garden with rock steps with multiple lines.
Looking at the track ahead, I thought there's no way we're going to get through there.
This one here with no lockers is going to be, I'm going to have to straddle this bit.
It's quite deceiving. It's very rocky, but once you look up the track, you start to see cliff faces.
Certainly leaving that line well alone.
Otherwise you might
kiss the rock. Yeah, with your door handle.
What do you think?
I'm going left there, left there.
I don't need to come down and help there.
We saw Lucas take the high T line.
I'm just reading the paper.
Oh, the little finger got him.
He gripped quite well, but then a bit of a rock came out of the ground and stepped him onto another rock with the diff centres.
Oh, moving on to the weather.
Well, you shouldn't have been drinking your cup of tea while you were driving up the hill. He's had to get the winch out to hold him from tipping over. Oh, yeah, it was sketchy.
I think he actually enjoyed it, which was good. Good to see him getting challenged on something that he's probably driven 100 times before.
Did you learn anything, Anya?
Not to go that way.
After Lucas is putting on a show for us all, Simon decided to take the sensible line.
I'm sure I can do it a little easier than that.
Now, even the sensible line is pretty challenging for the average Joe. That Iveco and Simon behind the wheel, he just ate it up.
Afternoon, chaps.
I tried to follow the Iveco line.
Walk it up, pick a reasonable line.
And I forgot that there was a big rock there and I crunched the rear. I didn't have the wheel clearance that the big Iveco's got.
Let the fun begin. And I thought, okay, I'm going to see what this Jeep really can do. And I've taken a bit of a mix between Simon's line and Lucas's line. I tell ya, that Jeep did not disappoint.
No diff locks. What a weapon.
Sick! And I didn't even have to do a Reuben rev, so how sad was that? Now Chris, he's running 35s and a stock motor, but his diff locks aren't broken. And we're going to see whose Jeep is the best.
My nemesis, Reuben, he was talking about being open all day. So I went open, and I thought I wasn't actually going to get any hookup, but I managed to hook up on that rocks, climb the rock, and actually made it feel very easy. It made Reuben's line look very challenging.
Unlocked, Reuben. Yeah. Unlocked.
Vaughan brought the big Y62.
I forgot to turn on my radio and I could see Simon saying things, but I couldn't hear anything. He's probably saying go right and I'm going left.
Sorry, mate, give me the radio.
He did super well right till the end where he got it up on the rock and it come down hard on the slider and made a big bang.
I wouldn't have liked to have my little finger in there.
One of the highlights for me is when you see a newbie tackle a track. And I watched Anya tackle that like an absolute boss.
The most crazy part about the drive is not knowing what's in front of you. All you can see is the bonnet. You think, I think I remember where that rock was.
Simon gave her some good guidance. She was smooth on the throttle and just nice and steady.
She had this massive smile on her face. And that just is why we build cars like this. This is why we go to parks like this, because it's a lot of fun.
I must be a little bit embarrassed because there's a lot more bangs coming under my car than what I hear from hers.
We all basically followed suit. Nobody had any real problems at all. These vehicles, the Navaras, they did very well.
There's no worries with the grip, is there?
It's surprising with the amount of different tyres here. Lucas and Chris are on the Baja Boss Muddies and they did really well, gripped up really nice. The Boss ATs that Reuben has actually twisted right up and gripped the rocks fantastically. I've got them on the BT50. We had a couple other brands there. They did grip reasonably well, but not as good as the stuff we had. What you need is a good Mickey all-terrain tyre when you're in clean face rocks, because you want less void ratio, you want that rubber on the road to give you that traction. lovely little waterfall we've just come up. Now we're going along the rocky gully, which should be good, but we've got a bit of an obstacle.
There's a few good little pinches there. We got caught up a few times and had to put the locker in. We just ended up with too many wheels not on the ground.
The vehicles were really leaning as we were driving through, so just crawling through that, the car was on its side going back and forth.
And there was one section, there's two big rocks on either side. If you didn't have your wheel placement spot on, you were going to be in the world of hurt. We got back onto the main track heading back. A couple of the boys wanted to have a bit of fun, so there's a little place called TRED Hills. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it before, but it is steep. It is so steep.
Looking at Ruben, I knew his eyes were on the prize. He was going to attack that hill.
A couple of times I thought this car is going to flip.
We've gone up this little bit, and how about that wheel lift?
It was crazy.
You guys are in there going, oh Dad, that's a bit wild. We had a go at that again, but I kept on getting bellied out. I gave it a bit of a Reuben rev. No go. Couldn't actually get that hill done, and we backed back down.
Oh, love it.
That's some big balls on that boy, I'll tell you what.
And get in my safety position.
You're right.
Yep. Full send.
We had a couple of chops at it. We had to hit it with a bit of pace and smoke the tyres up a bit. But we got through.
I think that hurt Chris's ego a little bit. He wanted to have a go at it.
I wasn't going to let Ruben have that one. I wanted to one-up him and do it better. I was hoping to do every single one of these hills.
I actually thought he was going to make it. He got really close. He gave it a red-hot shot.
He tried over and over, but couldn't quite get it either.
Oh, I nearly had it! Oh!
At the risk of not having any spare parts, he gave that one away and drove it uphill one.
And he just drove it like a boss.
The play of the day for me was Aaron in the Patroller Part Navara, taking up hill number 1 and getting up it.
I didn't think he was going to make it, but he absolutely knew how to drive that thing.
Had the benefit of watching the other guys have a go, figured out what the car was going to do and where it was going to head, and we drove straight up.
After that, we all came back to camp, built the fire, and then put our chairs around and had a good chat for the rest of the evening.
Oh, you guys are still working. It'd be nice to be left alone to sit here by the fire. What's that, you hungry? You want some dinner? What are the choices? All right, you can have steak sandwiches, hamburgers, or satay chicken with noodles. You like the idea of that? All right guys, let's get into it. So for something a little different, I'm going to be cooking inside and outside. That's right, this camper has 2 kitchens and I'm using them both. Out here we're frying up some diced chicken thighs. We're going to brown this off and it is going to be just magic. A tasty, lean and delicious meal for the crew. They bloody better love it. Right, who's got the noodles? Inside we're cooking 2-minute noodles. How's that smelling?
Oh, divine. Oh.
We're getting very close to being ready to serve this up. We've got the chicken browning off outside and we're going to add some veggies and our sauce and we are good to go. That satay sauce is just divine. All right, MDC food truck, noodles and vegetables, satay flavour. Have a look at that, guys. I'll tell you what, tonight I feel like I'm everywhere.
Oh, thanks, Simon.
You're welcome. The crew are fed and happy and I'm about to sit down and have a meal myself. Actually, that's not bad.
How high's the water, mama? 2 feet high and right. How high's the water, papa? He said 2 feet. How high's the water, mama? 2 feet high and rise. How high's the water, Papa? She's only 2 feet.